From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big noontime here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021 today. And the President of the United States went on air live minutes ago to talk about your fourth stimulus package. This is the one that's going to give you the monthly stimulus check that starts in the month of July. Goes all the way to December. But guess what? Before even minutes ago with the president discussing the fourth stimulus, the Department of Treasury came out and talked about the big money landing this week. I've been telling you there's a lot of money landing to you this week, and I'll go over the incredible great news about that money. In this recording, we go over the fourth stimulus check, the biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and rural benefits, you're getting it. And then we go over the big money coming back to you from the federal government, coming back to you from the states this week. And the Treasury just spoke about it, and a new statement was issued minutes ago. I'm really excited for you. It's all breaking across the board. It's a big noontime, and let's get to it right now. Good noontime, everybody. This is LALATE with breaking, developing news minutes ago as the President of the United States addressed the American people about the fourth stimulus package minutes ago. And right before he did, the Treasury Secretary's Underdeputy, under Janet Yellen, said that the big money from third stimulus is landing this week. I told you this morning. And they said that the states need to spend it on you. Incredible great news. I have all that big money landing this week. Then we'll also be going, of course, over fourth stimulus, those monthly stimulus checks, and what's happening in fifth stimulus, and we'll be circling back to the incredible great news about fifth stimulus. It's a big noontime. It's a big, exciting day, and I want you to be part of this family, so make sure you subscribe. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. From Wall Street to Main Street, from crypto to stimulus, I got it all covered. With new shows being added daily, you saw the new shows over the weekend. They were massive hits. I want you to tune in today because there's more coming back, and I don't want you to miss any of them. So hit that subscribe button. Also, like this video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Let's do it. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link's at the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Let's get to the details right off the bat. The President of the United States just addressed the American people on a live feed about fourth stimulus. He urged Americans on Friday, more specifically his Democratic leadership, to get it done. And in his own words, to get that fourth stimulus done. And that fourth stimulus is the single biggest payout you've ever seen in the history of this channel. It is a monthly stimulus check, and there's a House plan and there's a Senate plan. Let's compare and contrast them right off the bat before we get to the breaking news that happened minutes ago. Let's get you up to date on what is the fourth stimulus package. It is a monthly stimulus check. The House plan provides the first month would be $2,000 and then $1,000 every month thereafter. They provide stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. So if you're in the live chat, get ready to comment Senate versus House. But first, here are the details before you pass judgment yet. The House plan provides stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. So if there are 4 more months left of the pandemic, that would be 4 months of stimulus checks plus 1 year of stimulus checks, 16 months of stimulus checks. The senators, however, only give you 6 months of stimulus checks, to July to December. But before you choose House, let's see the monthly amount. The House members, as you just saw in their bill, proposed the second month and thereafter it would be $1,000 a month. The senators want to dwarf that amount by nearly doubling it. Word on the street is this is the senator's amounts. $2,000 a month over 6 months starting in the month of July, or $1,400 a month starting in the month of July, $8,400. All right, now if you're in the live chat and you're tuning in shortly after 11 o'clock on the West Coast, 2 o'clock on the East Coast, drop whether you like Senate or House. And some people don't care. Senate or House. The concept of the Senate plan is to give you a faster, bigger infusion of money, whereas the House plan is to give you a smaller monthly infusion, but to spread it over progressively over more months, which would give you collectively more money. What did the president say minutes ago? He said, get it done. What did he say on Friday? Get it done. Friday, not one, not two, but three press conferences saying, get the fourth stimulus package done. What did he say minutes ago in his live feed? Get it done. No reason for me to run a 15-minute video that basically says get it done. Who is this a video for? It's not for you. It's not for me. It is for his Democratic leadership. And they are getting it done. The reconciliation process has already started. They're already working on the bills in the subcommittees. A two-bill, two-month, two-step process. Again, that's two bills, 2 month, 2 steps. A vote, when, how, where would you get it? Let's go over all this incredible details starting right now. The vote would be in the month of July for the month of July checks. These are the representation of your legislators. I'm not your legislator. I'm your reporter. I'm only reporting what they say. The stimulus check vote would be in the month of July for the month of July. There would be no waves of checks landing month after month after month. In July for July, in August for August. Is it income? It's not income. Is it taxable? It's not taxable. What about child support? We don't know anything about that just yet. Who gets it? You get it. The same people who got the third stimulus get the fourth. Is there a different amount? No. Adult dependent, children, everyone else, same amount for the stimulus check. Great news. So if you make less than $75,000, you get it. If you make less than $150,000, married couple, you get it. Double the check. Family of 4, household of 4, you get it. Quadruple the check. And of course, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits, you get it. Amen. Let's get it done. Now, minutes ago, the surprising details that came out of the White House that was very important for you to understand was that the White House is now watching and mirroring that several progressive organizations have launched a new ad campaign. And that new ad campaign is to pass the fourth stimulus to the American people as a notion of what's coming back from another side. A group called the Koch-backed American for Prosperity group is trying to pitch the American people on what's called deficit spending, that we should not pass for stimulus because it's deficit spending. Who is the Koch group speaking to? It's speaking to not Democrats. They're doing the reconciliation bill. It's speaking to the American people. And now these progressives are coming first hand, first serve, and they're saying, no, we're not going to have you confuse the situation. So now nearly 20 groups have signed on to a massive ad campaign released minutes ago that launched minutes ago called Stop Deficit, to push back, called Stop Deficit Hawks, referring to this Koch group to say we need to stop talking about deficit hawks and spend money and get stimulus out the door. This incredible great news. It has nothing to do with the legislative process. It has to do with the imagery of the fourth stimulus package. The president, however, really had the best event, the best factor of news, and the most fascinating and compelling twist on Thursday, muddied in all the coverage of other subjects last week, was this. The President of the United States said he would do the fourth stimulus package deal with the Democratic leadership by modifying his position on the corporate tax rate. Wow. Now, you know how we do this. 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process. We're only concerned about Democrats with Democrats. Is there anything dividing the Democrats? Potentially, it was the corporate tax rate. No more. Amen. The president said, I will make a deal with you. I will do what you want. Currently, 21% Democrats had been pushing back moderate, asking for 25%. President was at 28%. He said, I'll do 25. I'll just do whatever you want. I'm not really particularly serious about any particular number. Wow, this is incredible great news. So now let's go back to that big payout and that big sum of money and understand when, where, and how. That big pay of money would start in the month of July and continue every month thereafter. Senate or House, which one do you like? If you're in the live chat, drop Senate or House. The concept of the Senate plan for viewers, the reason why some viewers prefer the Senate plan, is to get them caught up on bills, to get caught up on past due bills so you are made whole faster, so that things don't linger around longer. The reason why some people may like the House plan is because potentially they are caught up, but they want to have more relief continuing further thereafter. And then there's a lot of other reasons, but that is some of the reasons why people like these items. And guess what? There's more money landing for you today. I've been detailing it since Saturday, and guess what? Minutes ago, the undersecretary, not Janet Yellen, but the person under Janet Yellen, spoke to members of press. I didn't have that video because I wasn't live on air, and guess what? It's not archived on their channel, so I can't show you the video. The undersecretary to Janet Yellen came out and said, guess what? That big money you've been waiting for from the federal government under third stimulus is landing today. and they had incredible great news across the board. They said, you need to spend it on the American people. That statement came out minutes ago from Deputy Secretary Treasury Adeval Wally Adeyemo. Told reporters during a press briefing this morning with the Teal person. Every state and every city is different, said the Deputy Treasury Secretary. In the coming days and weeks, the Treasury's Office of Recovery Programs will work hand in hand with governors, mayors, and members of Congress and local officials to get money out as soon as possible. This is $350 billion for you. It is incredible great news. And they made very clear that this money is not to fix the state's pension plans or to fix their railroads or their bridges or their streets. It is money coming to you. With this funding, communities hardest hit by COVID will be able to return to a semblance of normality, said Treasury Secretary in a press release a minute ago. Today is a milestone in our country for recovery of the pandemic and its adjacent economic crisis. This is incredible great news. And I was telling you this morning on Morning's LALATE and this weekend, let's go over the money that is yours. Back in January, I had told you that when we're looking at third stimulus, we're thinking about a third stimulus check of $1,400, but we really are focused on the big enchilada. That big enchilada is only going to be served once from this president and once from this administration. Why? Because under fourth stimulus, it's not coming back. You need to get it, and that was the concept of Purple Hawks. That's what birthed Purple Hawks. Hawk, hawk. That is first come, first serve. You have to pounce to get the money before anyone else. And let's get to that money. It's for you. It's for every viewer of this channel who makes less than $75,000. It's starting right now. First, it's money for rent, it's money for utilities, it's also money for SNAP, and it's also money for mortgage assistance. The incredible great news across the board is that this money is the money that you have been waiting for, and it's $5,000 to $25,000. Let's start with the rent. The rent money is coming from the federal government last week, this week, and next week. So get it because it's first come, first serve. How much is it? It's generally 4 to 6 months of past rent. How much is the dollar figure? It's sometimes around $5,000. And then there's utilities on top of it. And then there is money for mortgage assistance and also for homeowners utilities. Where do you get it? 6 possible places. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. If there's a lot of information in this recording, get that pen and paper out. And if you're watching it live, don't worry. It's archived on the channel after it's live. You can back up the video to replay a section of the video if there's a lot of information. I know I'm delivering a lot of information in a very short period of time. And guess what? Stay to the end because there's a lot of big money coming up still in this recording. I want you to get all this money, so stay to the very end. All right. So that money is landing this week, last week, and next week. Incredible great news, and it's exactly what Jared Yellen spoke about minutes ago. Now, in addition to that, SNAP. SNAP is so much money. What is SNAP? It is money for your food. It is from the Department of Agriculture. A family in Florida, Hawaii now is getting upwards of $16,000 over a year. This is incredible. Reach out to Department of Agriculture or 211 to get that SNAP. It is money for food. Now, over the course of today's broadcast, this week's broadcast, and next week's broadcast, as we approach certain deadlines, I'm going to give something new on this channel called Tough Love, in which I tell you more emphatically, you need to get it right now because there's a deadline. If you don't get it, you'll never get it. That's my message of tough love, with a smile, with a lot of love, but also telling you, don't sit around and not do it because it won't be available anymore. Tough love number 1 in this video is that this rent, this utilities, this mortgage assistance is not going to be around again. There's no indication it's coming back under fourth stimulus. This is third stimulus. So get it ASAP. Number 2, eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are not coming back anymore after September. No indication suggests it will ever be extended in fourth stimulus. So you need to get this money for rent and homeowners assistance now because it will never come around again. And that is the incredible great news. Well, guess what? I got more money coming back from you. And that incredible other money coming back from you is absolutely incredible. I'm going to go over several items that is coming back to you. Some of them starting today, some of them in the next few days. But what's important to understand is that some of these are automatic and some of them are not automatic. Some of the things you have to do something for. And here comes tough love. You have to do something in the next few days. Let's go over each of them one at a time. First, Money's being returned back to you, thousands of dollars from your states. Who's getting the money? If you received unemployment assistance from your states and they overpaid you by accident, then they have been ordered to return that money back to you if you repaid it back to them. During the scope of this pandemic, some people got overpayments to no fault of their own, returned the money after being requested. Well, now the Department of Labor said no, immediately return that money to our American citizens. Congratulations. Thousands of dollars that some people received in overpayment and returned is coming back to you. Nothing you have to do, coming from the states. Number 3, money coming this week from the federal government. Nothing for you to do if you've done the following. This money is coming back from the federal government, from IRS, to your address on file for your personal tax return or your direct deposit on file with your tax return. Who's getting it? If you filed a 2020 tax return, pay taxes on your unemployment benefits, the amount that you paid taxes on the unemployment benefits is being returned back to you. So, for example, let's say your total tax bill was $5,000, of which you paid $4,000 on your unemployment benefits, which were less than $10,000. You are getting $4,000 back in the mail. Watch for that check. It's landing this week. Who's getting it? People who are single filers. Who's not getting it? People who are joint filers, like husband and wife. You are coming later this month. All right, so now we meander into more tough love. Tough love is based upon the concept that you have to do certain things to get the money. And if you don't get it, you're not going to get it. Moreover, tough love is also embedded in the concept that you have to do certain things by a deadline, by a timeline. And if you don't do it, you will never get it. So I hope you're watching this channel. I hope you're a subscriber. I hope you tell your friends and family to come over here and get this money now, because if you wait to July, if you wait to June, you're not going to get it. Number 1. If you took out for federal taxes when you received your unemployment assistance in 2020, you have to file the tax return to request that money back from the federal government. Who are you getting the money from? The federal government. How are you getting the money back? By a tax return to the federal government. Which year? 2020. Requesting that money back. When is it due? In just the next few days. You can't miss that deadline because you won't get the money back. It's thousands of dollars. Why would you not get that money back? Then, if you're missing a first, second, third stimulus check, you need to file a tax return by this next few days for 2020, requesting that stimulus check that you did not receive. That deadline is coming up. This includes people who have a missing check in the family, like a household check for the daughter that never came. And finally, I think categorically, in my heart, what I think is going to be the biggest where's my money moment in the month of July is this group. People who are not taking care of being set up to receive the $3,600 and $3,000 in the month of July for their children and are doing nothing now, they are not going to get it in July. Maybe they are watching another YouTuber, and then they're going to come over here in the month of July and say, where's my $3,600? And I'll be saying, you weren't a subscriber. You didn't realize you weren't watching my video saying you had to do this in May. You couldn't wait to July. You're never going to get the money. Let me go over which 3 people have to do something right now. They are people who have children and have never filed a tax return. You have to file a tax return because the IRS will never pay you a check because they don't know the child exists. Tough love. Number 2, you do file tax returns, but you're not listing that child. Maybe the child is newborn in the last year. You need to file that 2020 tax return. IRS doesn't know the child exists. You're never going to get paid for that child. Group number 3, a rare situation, but still a possibility. You filed a 2019 return. You listed the child. You made a lot of money that year. You were not eligible for this money for the children in the month of July. But in the 2020 tax year, you were. Guess what? Your income went down substantially. It was within the threshold of eligibility. You need to get that 2020 tax return on file to get that money for the child. Why? Because the IRS is looking at the most recent tax return, the 2019, saying, oh, you made too much money under the 2019 return. We're not sending you money for the children. This is very important. If you're a family that has 2, 3 kids and they're all under the age of 17, we're talking about 3 kids, $3,600. Let's say they're all 5 years and younger. That's a lot of money. We're talking about $11,000. Why would you not do this? Remember, when we're talking about tough love, there's a message that I need to impart to you very clearly, which is you may not be required to file a tax return because you don't make enough money. But if you do not, If you do not file a tax return, you are categorically 100% not getting this money from the federal government if you don't follow their requirements. Their requirements are file the tax return to get the money from us. You don't file the tax return, you're not getting paid. There is no exception to this. There's no excuse to this. I've had some people say, I called up IRS and spoke to them on the phone. That doesn't work. I'm looking for that non-file filing tool. That doesn't work. Reaching out to the community page and asking the volunteers to help you with tax preparation. They don't do that. You absolutely need to do the following. Get a piece of paper out. Make a list of everything you need to take care of to get big money right now. Missing refunds for unemployment, money for the children of the $3,600, missing stimulus checks. Make that list, bring it to the tax preparer this day, because that tax return is due in just a few days. But before that, stay with me. I'll be back in 60 seconds, and I'll be answering some more of your questions. And I'll have big updates about the fifth stimulus and your big SSI reform, and more about what happened with fourth stimulus this morning. We're far from over. Big money in the second half of this recording. Stay with me for more. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Noontime LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check starting the month of July, and your fifth stimulus coming up in the second half of this recording right now, and the big money coming back from your states. How are you? It's a big noontime, and I saw your incredible questions during the commercial break. I'll be answering them just shortly. But if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. This is LALATE, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a financial news channel. No one else is doing what this channel does. Financial news 24 hours a day, live in the morning, taped in the afternoon, with a new slate of programming with crypto in the coverage as well. So make sure you also like this video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. The link's on the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. One of the comments I saw, actually two of the comments I saw during the commercial break were the following. One person said, I'm on SSI, I don't file tax returns. Great question. Follows what I said earlier in this video. This is what you need to know. If you are not required to file tax returns, but you hear something during this recording that you need to do to get money, like you have a child that's 6 years old, and that child would get $3,000, you must file a tax return. I'm going to say that again. You may not be required for you to file a personal tax return because you don't make enough money. But if you want to get the stimulus covered in this channel where I tell you at some point you have to do a tax return to get that money, you must do the tax return. If you don't do it, you won't get it. And that is the end of what will happen to you. That deadline is just a few days away. And while you may think about the money, for example, the children in July, the deadline is just a few days away. This is tough love, and that's what's important to understand. Next, I had another person drop a comment during the commercial break that said, my child was previously on someone else's tax return, and now it's on this tax return, it's on that tax return. That's great. In that case, the person has clearly identified there is a situation. If you're one of those people that senses there's a situation, for example, a household member has changed locations or changed tax returns, or you're at a different address, or you have a different bank account, something you think, because you're smart, will cause a confusion from IRS, go to that tax preparer immediately, today, tomorrow, to get that 2020 return or amended return on file, because this is the window to get this big money. All right. The day started with really surprising news across the board as Chipotle came in and did something no one saw happening. And this is very important because the President of the United States says get forced stimulus done. Well, what did forced stimulus get a strange push from? Chipotle announced today that it sees a very big problem luring people into work. The day started before Chipotle's news with Twitter trending with the words $25. Why $25? Because social media was having people say, we're not returning back to work unless we're getting $25 minimum wage. Well, Chipotle ironically made the announcement today that it's raising minimum wages at its stores at $15 an hour, number one. Many people will get $18 an hour starting wage, number three. That within 3.5 years, you will be a store manager at $100,000 a year, potentially, says, and that the store manager's starting salary is $100,000. Number four, they're paying upwards of $750 for you to refer them potential employees. And that five, they're looking for 20,000 people to fill those spots. Wow. So you see that this is really a big issue. On Friday, the jobs number was released, and what did it say? It said essentially what the president said, get it done. There's a problem. What was the problem? Jobs. People were not taking jobs. That was Chipotle's approach to the situation. That Friday jobs number also prompted the president to say, pass fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus is the stimulus package starting in September. Let's go over that great news right now. Same way as fourth stimulus. 2 bills, 2 months, two-step process. 2 bills, 2 months, two-step process. The president doesn't write the bill. The congressional leaders write the bill. Just like the congressional leaders are putting in the fourth stimulus checks, they're putting in the SSI reform in the fifth stimulus this fall. What do they propose? This is what they propose. Increase your benefits, increasing the asset limit, adding an inflationary benchmark. More about that in a second with breaking news minutes ago about the inflationary rate. Removing the income exclusion and removing the marriage penalty. Again, this is something the House and senators will add, not the president. All right, let's go to the breaking news that is important about this, which is minutes ago, this morning, before I went on live for Mornings LA, and you may have heard this for the first time on Mornings LA, the Chicago Federal Reserve President Charles Evans told News that he thinks that the inflationary rate for this year will go somewhere between 2 to 5% and needs to go there. He says it's relatively too flat at the moment, and that signals that the economy is not rebounding enough. To average 2%, you got to get above 2% for some time. So inflationary rate of 2.5% doesn't bother me. It's consistent with an average of 2% over some time. It's a little bit complicated, but I think that's where it needs to go, he said. So let's go now to your benefits in lieu of what his comments were. Your benefits will be raised up to a big new number. So says these Democratic leaders. That would be your new number going forward. It would change your life. It would be a game changer. You would no longer be your current number. You would be your new number. Then your benefits would be holding at that number or higher year to date. Who's you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, Social Security survivor benefits. Then they're going to tie you to inflation. You just heard how he talked about inflation, 2%, 2.5%. Whether it's Jerome Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, the President of the United States, myself, everyone says inflation is going to be 2 to 4% per year. So your benefits will go up about 2 to 4% over the next few years, which is great. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap dates back to a very, very old 1980s law that says some of you can't keep more than $3,000 on hand. Gone. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says some of you can't keep more than, that some of you can't work and stay on benefits. Gone. If you want to make $1,000, $2,000 a month, they'll let you. They're going to reassess the situation. And finally, they're going to remove the marriage penalty. If you've suffered for the marriage penalty, you know what it is. If you're going to consider getting marriage, you know what it is. It will be gone. When would you see this money? This money would likely hit in November. 2 bill, 2 months, 2-step process start in September. It would not hurt anything else. It would not hurt Medicaid. It would not hurt Medicare. It would not hurt SNAP benefits. And it's one of the add-ons to the fifth stimulus. It's not the entire fifth stimulus, which has incredible relief for single individuals for hazard pay and also for seniors. Here's what you need to know, is that fifth stimulus passes the same way as fourth stimulus. And fifth stimulus, like fourth stimulus, got that incredible push from the President of the United States last Friday. He also discussed both of them during today's press briefing. In a day in which we've had these progressives launch this campaign called Stop Deficit Hawks, the messaging of this 20-group released minutes ago is to push back against people like they indicate, their campaign, not mine, billionaire Charles Koch's political network, to say we need to stop worrying about spending. Just spend the money. And ironically, this is what Jerome Powell said in 2020. He said the percentage of the amount of money we spend in this country for COVID relief issues is supposed to be a fraction of the GDP. We have yet to even approach that fraction. So we have not been spending a lot of money so far on these items across the board. And then, of course, that incredible statement from the Treasury Secretary. Today is a milestone in our country's history for the pandemic and the adjacent crisis. And this will forever help small business reopen safely and provide people the type of relief. This amount of money is incredible sums of money, $350 billion starting to land this week, starting to land last week, and coming up next week. Meantime, what do you need to know going into this afternoon? What you need to know is the following. First, fourth stimulus currently underway, currently in the Senate and House subcommittees, currently being worked on. 2-bill, 2-month, 2-step process. Second, the president's not going to talk about stimulus checks. He doesn't talk about stimulus checks. Number 3, there are no stimulus checks landing by Memorial Day. I've never reported that. But now, suddenly, apparently, other channels have been caught reporting that stimulus checks were landing in the month of May and June. Stimulus checks. Never true, never correct, and now those channels are certainly being marked. If you notice in some of the search results, that claims that a stimulus check was to come before the month of before Memorial Day, which is later this month, categorically untrue. Finally, what's incredible to understand is that fourth and fifth stimulus are two items that are topics of discussion, but slightly different when we look at the pay-fors. And with that corporate tax agreement by the president to come down from 28, come up from 21 where we are now, and meet at 25, we have incredible great news. And I have incredible excitement for you as we go into the afternoon. Join me next as I go on live about the developing details about Ethereum, really going through the roof, to the moon, and also what happened with Doge this morning, what happened with Dogecoin yesterday. I'll have all those live details on that next broadcast going live. But first, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused. Keep it always positive. Remember, we're getting to the finish line, and together, we keep it as a Purple Power family. Positive, focused, and informed. And stay with Ally for more.